How you doing, guys and gals? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Callum X. In this video, I'm going to go through all of the changes and tuning that's coming with the update 0.2.0 to Grounded on the 26th of August, or very early in the morning on the 27th if you're in Australia or New Zealand. So if you find a video useful, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more Grounded content, and more importantly, go join me on Twitch. Link for that is down in the description. We've been live streaming Grounded, and of course, we will be live streaming the update. So like I said, I've already made a video for all of the bug fixes which are coming out in this update. If you want, there'll be a link for that somewhere in here, up above or down below or around somewhere. Go check that out on the channel if you want to know the things that are being fixed. This video is about all of the changes and sort of the tuning and the not new content necessarily, but things like that. So let's get straight into it. This applies on all platforms, Xbox, PC, and Steam. And we'll go with combat stuff first. So they buffed the damage on the Spider Fang dagger. So it's now on the higher end of tier 2 weapons. So Spider Fang dagger is going to do more damage. They buffed the damage on the spike trap significantly, which I think is really good because spike traps pretty much are garbage. So hopefully they will now become pretty useful. So that's good news. Spiders learned a new set of attacks to choose from instead of just their basic bite. So that's good. Spiders are basically getting buffed. Yay. Yay, spiders. Added a brief forced delay between block start events, preventing the player from perfect blocking by mashing the block button. So there you go. There's that. It's going to be harder to block. Spiders are going to be better, and it's going to be harder to block them. Anyway, slightly reduced the bonus damage given by the eye patch. I don't agree with that. I think the eye patch was reasonably sort of... I like the eye patch. But anyway, slightly reduced the bonus damage for that. Adjusting lava blade poison proc so it's consistent. Okay. Reducing the stun ratings of two-handed weapons. Okay. Would that be basically the mint mallet and the ant club, I think, at the moment. Slightly reducing amount of damage the mint mallet deals so it's in line with the tier progression. Well, the mint mallet was pretty much OP, so... yeah, I get that. Tier 2 insects now have a cooldown after being stunned before they can be stunned again. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Blocking no longer reduces armor durability. I didn't even realize it did. So yeah, that's cool. So that's all the combat tweaks, I guess. Now with the interface, so the UI, the user interface. Updated raw science UI icons to be more consistent across the game. They've added a shortcut for dropping items in the inventory screen, so drop stack is in the context menu. Adding a deposit/receive stack button on storage UIs. So you can transfer a stack, I guess, with a button. Perfect. Shift clicking item stacks in the storage UI will transfer the full stack. So hold shift and click. Don't know what that control will be on the Xbox controller. We'll figure that out live. And then, so feel free to come across and see. Might not be a thing. I don't know. Dragging an item stack onto the paper doll in the inventory screen will drop the item stack in the world. Crafting an item with a full inventory will now notify that the item was dropped out in the world. Cool, so you don't, accidentally drop it. Storage and flag marker icons have been revised, regrouped, and their colors have shifted. Requires a one-time tour of the yard to set everything back. New trail markers will be blank by default. Slight revisions to a few scab flavor schemes. Canteen slurps available are displayed in the equipment HUD element. Additional icon art. That's cool. We wanted more icons. Added a highlight effect that appears on interactable objects when the player looks at them. This feature is controlled by the highlight objects accessibility setting. Okay. Next, we're going to go into the world. So these are world changes. They've revised Clover Cave layout and lighting and moved the entrance slightly. Revised the flooded area layout in the southeast corner of the yard. Updated house electrical socket with final non-blockout art. I've just realized southeast corner of the yard, by the way, is where the bush, the flooded area where the berry bush is. That's the southeast. Items left in the world and not in a container for 48 to 72 in-game hours will eventually despawn once out of range of all players. Items loaded from a saved game from version 0.1 point something will have all item timers start at 0 to give players a chance to react to this change. Basically, anything we drop, which I'm guessing this is going to include weed stems and grass planks, after 42 to 72, which is 2 to 3 in-game hours, will despawn completely. I guess that's my storage broken. Anyway, players and critters now create ripples in the water while moving. It's cool. Didn't notice they didn't, but I'm sure that's a cool effect that will be brought in. Kids are starting to throw Archer cookies over the fence. By the way, that's basically, it looks like an Oreo cookie, I guess. along with their billy hogs and their apples. Okay, so that explains that. The billy hog hot dogs and the apples are being thrown over the fence by kids. The Archer cookies are now in there. We kind of knew about that. Added a few footprints throughout the yard. Base buildings will now become more reliably anchored when built on top of objects such as the baseball. Palisades will no longer immediately collapse when attached building is removed. So that's cool. Water containers can collect falling droplets. That's cool. The player can now drink from water containers while holding weapons. That's nice too. Stairs may now be embedded in the ground, like scaffolds and ramps. Thank God for that. I mean, yeah. So we can have small staircases. Walls that are sandwiched above by 2 floors will have their crenellations suppressed. The camera will slide to the correct position when interacting with a weapon wall mount. So that's cool. Tweak the place position of the weapon wall mount to be more centered. I didn't really notice that there was a problem with that, but anything to make it look better is always good. Next, we're going on to performance. So the better windowed full screen performance in Windows versions of the game. Better UI inventory GPU performance. So when you're in your inventory and stuff, shouldn't be so heavy on your GPU. Significant load game time improvement for games with large bases. Well, for that, loads of people had those issues. And better GPU performance during nighttime. That's good too. I think that was, I thought it was to do with torches, but I don't know. Anyway, last but not by no means least, there's some little extra things. The voice chat activation setting now properly reapplied when entering a game. Scab flavor scheme collectibles now have a pulsing light, which is slightly bigger to make them more noticeable. That's quite good. That's useful. Hedge berries now float in water. Thank God for that. So now the ones that drop in the underneath the bird bath and in the bird bath, we can get them now, for God. Prevented very large numbers of ants from being assigned to the same task, such as killing a weevil. That's good. You always, you know, how many times we see 10 ants trying to kill a weevil. Poor thing. Reduce the camera near clip plane, fixing the camera clipping into the player when using a high field of view. Polished up spear movement and aiming animations for first person. You should now see grass extend to the furthest reaches of the yard. So grass is now covering the entire yard. Ants now find and store lost ice caps. Soldier ants can now properly drop ant heads as loot. Tall woody weeds are now displayed as husky weed. Dandelions and husky weed both still supply weed stems. Husky weed now respawns. Weeds respawns now, guys. We have weed respawning. Thank God. Ants will not be happy if you take their eggs. Yeah, that was always a bit weird that you could just grab 100 ant eggs and run away and the ants didn't care. The resource analyzer now animates when analyzing. Nice little tweak, and a couple of new smoothies can be whipped up at the smoothie station. So those are the changes that are coming in for 0.2.0. Let me know what you think any new animals or things like that are going to be, because obviously those haven't been mentioned. We also know that we're getting tables. We know that we're getting these cookies. Obviously now it's been mentioned. We also know that we are getting the fence railings. So those things are cool. Let me know what animals, what bugs you think we'll be getting below. Of course, don't forget to follow me on Twitch. Link for that is down on the description. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like it. And, of course, give it a like if you enjoyed the video. I will speak to you in the next one, or I will speak to you on my live stream. Either way, have a fantastic day/night, guys. Take care of yourselves. I'll speak to you soon.